Some things that you're going to have to understand is that we are sometimes going to be representing a buyer who has questions for us. And some of these questions we can answer. Some of them we shouldn't answer. These are going to be some of the steps on buying a home. Some of the steps on buying a home and some of the questions you will encounter as a realtor. And maybe you can answer them for the buyer. Now, one of the questions is, how much can I afford? The buyer's going to be very excited. And the buyer's going to say, I want to go see houses. Yeah, we haven't determined a sales price for them, or a purchase price for them, or an affordability price for them. How much can they afford? Well, this is not a question for you to answer as a realtor. This question goes to who? The lender. So the best thing to do, of course, is to take them to the lender. The lender will do this. The lender will review their debt to income ratio on all of their assets and all of their debt that they have, and based on all that, and they're going to combine it and review it, look at it, and all that good stuff. They'll determine a purchase price, the pre-approval amount for the buyer. The buyer will say, "Yay, I'm pre-approved for $1 million." They're going to get excited, and of course, they're going to come running to you, the realtor, and say, "Hey, I can afford a house for $1 million. Can you please go show me houses of $1 million or less?" Another question that they often have is, "Listen, I own a home already. Can I sell my current home and purchase another one at the same time?" Well, it's going to be difficult, but it can be done. This is called contingent on the sale of their current home. It can be done. They're going to sell this house here and have a concurrent close. That's key word. They're going to have a concurrent close when they're selling this one and purchasing this one. The best thing to do is have a concurrent close on both. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Just understand that's called a concurrent close and contingency on them selling this one to purchase this one. These contingencies mean protection. They mean an insurance policy that if something does come up, the buyer has the ability to back out without any harm, no blood, no foul. Next one. Question that they often have is, how many homes should I go look at? How many homes should we preview before we pull the trigger and make an offer? Now, the deal is this. Once they have that pre-approved amounts from the lender, they get very, very excited. Most buyers, it's an emotional time, so they get very, very excited. And the first thing they do, of course, like we all do, is they go online and they start looking on homes online. And that's the first thing they're doing, is shopping for homes online. But it really doesn't work until they go see it, smell it, touch it, feel it, and that's where you come in. They'll contact you, the realtor. You get them in their car, or they can follow you, whatever it is, and you go preview homes. Preview homes until, of course, they find the right one. Now, the question then becomes, how many homes is enough? Some people go into the first home they preview and they say, "Hey, Mr. Realtor, Mrs. Realtor, this is the one I want. Let's make the offer." Other buyers can take months. I've heard some buyers take up to a year before they pull the trigger. Another question they have, of course, is how soon can we close this deal? They're so excited. This has been such a great time for them. You've been previewing homes. They've never thought in their wildest dreams they could buy a home. You're putting them in a situation where they're going to raise their family in this beautiful home. So, of course, they want to move in as soon as possible. How soon can they get done? Typically, it takes 30 to 45 days, typically. Now, this is because the lender, don't forget, the lender who pre-approved them needs that amount of time to get their process started, going, and done. The lender needs to process the loan, to close the loan. It takes them 30 to 45 days to get this all wrapped up. Now, the beginning of the end is when the lender, of course, says, "Hey, Mr. Buyer, the loan documents are here. Come sign them." And after they sign them and the buyer agrees to all these terms, they agree to a 30-year loan at 4% interest rate, and at this payment for the next 30 years, next step, of course, would be funding. The lender then funds the loan, which means here's the money, go buy the house. Of course, it's more complicated than that, but just so you know, that's when the lender funds the loan, they hand over the money and say, "Go buy it." Last but not least, is the best word in the world, and that's recording. Once the transaction is closed, everybody wins. Now, these are the steps to buying a home. It's a very simple process. I mean, it really is. Let's review real quick. Number one, typically the buyer will find themselves a realtor. Number two, they'll find a lender who can qualify them or pre-approve them for an amount. Number three, you, the realtor, shows them property. Number four, escrow opens. Escrow typically takes what? 30 to 45 days. After that, lender says, after those 30 to 45 days, the lender says it's time to sign your loan documents. Next step, it's time to fund the loan. Last but not least, it's time to record the loan. And of course, everybody, at the very end, after it's recording, they party. The buyer moves into their home, the realtor gets their commission, and the lender, of course, closes the deal.